time now for the gal, I'm up in the place.
Hey love, so today's video is a full out tutorial. I know I've gotten a lot of comments as well as emails asking me to do a tutorial on how you can easily pluck your lace frontal. So basically, you guys, here is the video. So I wanted to show you guys like an in-depth tutorial on how you can tweeze, customize your lace frontal to look like a natural hairline. So before we get into the tutorial, I want to actually show you guys what hair I will be using. This hair is from Wiggins Hair. I have 4 bundles as well as a lace frontal. The lengths are 20, 22, 24, 24 with a 20-inch lace frontal. And the frontal, you guys, if you can kind of see, it is not pre-plucked really at all. This hair is a little bit dense. They do have a little bit of baby hairs, which only is in like the front section. The first thing that I want you guys to notice is a frontal has sections. There are 5 sections when it comes to your frontal. There is the section that is right by your ear, then there's the temples, and then there is the front hairline. Okay, so when you go in and pluck and tweeze your frontal, you want to make sure that you're plucking in sections. Also, another thing, you guys, you want to make sure that you have a very good pair of tweezers. The tweezers that I use, I believe it came like a 5-pack, and I got it off of Amazon. I will try to leave the link down below, but I pretty much only use 2 of them. There are the pointy tip tweezers, and then there are tweezers that look kind of funny, which is the blue pair that I use. But yeah, so I use those 2 tweezers to go in and pluck my frontal. Now, before you pluck your frontal, you want to make sure that your frontal is wet. You can spritz it with the spray bottle. You can dip your comb into a cup of water, but just make sure that that frontal is wet. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with my pointy tweezers, which is the pink color, and I'm gonna go ahead and thin out this hairline. And I'm only doing one section, which is the section that is right by the ear. So as you guys can see, this hairline is fully packed with hair, and that is the reason why I am taking the pointy tweezers and just thinning out that front hairline. There's really no baby hairs on the sides of the frontal, so that is the reason why I'm going in and thinning it out. Now, after I thin out the section, the next thing I'm going to do is actually part where the baby hairs were supposed to be. Okay, so once I parted where the baby hairs are supposed to be, as you guys can see, the baby hairs are a little bit thick. So I am parting it and pulling the hair forward, and I'm going to go ahead and tweeze downward to thin out that area, because, you know, of course, baby hairs are like wispies and thin pieces or thin sections of your hair. Now that I've went ahead and thinned out a little bit of the baby hairs, the next thing I'm going to do is go in with my blue pair of tweezers, and I'm going to start plucking behind the baby hairs. As you guys can see, there's a pretty nice amount of hair in that section. So I'm going to go ahead and start thinning it out. And you guys do not plug in the same section. That's why these blue pairs of tweezers are so good, is because the way that it's made, they have like little metal half arrows at the very ends of the tweezers, and it only kind of pulls just a little bit of the hairs in 2 sections instead of pulling all at once. I hope that kind of makes sense, you guys. I will try to get up close so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just going like section for section. So you want to do it like you're playing checkers, or so it's like one section you're going in and plucking, and then you're skipping a section, and then you're going into the next section and tweezing out hairs. You do not want to pluck these same areas or all the areas when thinning out the frontal. You want to make sure that you're one section you're plucking, the next section you're not, the next section you're plucking, and just like back and forth, back and forth. So as you guys can see, I'm not staying in the same area for a long period of time. And once I just pluck a little bit, what I do is go back in with my comb and part off the section again, pull it forward, thin it out with my tweezers, and then start plucking backwards. So if you follow the same steps that I'm doing, you guys, you will have a very nice plucked frontal. Now, a crucial tip when plucking your frontal, you want to make sure that you're plucking for a reason, okay? You do not want to be thinking that you're plucking the hairs and then you actually still see the black knot still sitting on the lace. You want to make sure that you're pulling the whole entire hair strand as well as that knot that was created next to the lace. And that's why I say these blue pair of tweezers, they do just that. They pull everything out of that little area of the lace, so you're not left with the hair strand or the black knot. Another tip that I want to tell you guys is always keep combing the hair backwards. Any hair that you pluck out, you want to make sure that you're combing it out of the frontal, because all of that hair, if it's still bunched up, you're not for sure exactly how your hairline is looking after you went ahead and tweezed it for some time. So make sure you guys, you have that comb on hand, and then also make sure you have your water on hand as well, because the hair tends to dry. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start plucking the front of the frontal. Now the front of the frontal, it has more hair than it has on the sides. So with this particular frontal, it did come with a little bit of baby hairs, but I still needed to go in and thin out the baby hairs as well. So I did the same exact thing. I went in, thinned it out, and then I started parting parts of the section and started tweezing front and backwards with my pointy pair of tweezers as well as the arrow tip tweezers.
Yeah, the sis come through, get a squad, some space. Get down, girl, ain't nobody tell you nothing. Yeah. And if they try to tell you something, tell them find some stairs or run up. Cause I ain't tryna be nobody, body. I ain't tryna tell you how to live your life. I don't know. You do what you have to, I know that it's hard. On the low, bounce around, 2 different jobs. Oh, but you have to do what you have to know. A closed mouth don't get fed over here. But you have to do what you have to know. Yeah. No, closed mouths don't get fed. I hold that stays in your head. Think about it lying down in your back.
So you guys, this is exactly how my frontal is looking after I thinned and plucked the hell out of this frontal, you guys. It took me some time. I'm just letting you guys know this is very time consuming when it comes to plucking and tweezing your frontal. So you need to make sure that you put aside a good amount of time to go in and pluck and thin out your frontal. You're not going to be able to do it within a couple of minutes. It does take time, especially if you have a frontal that is not pre-plucked at all. Okay, so you guys, the last step that I'm going to go ahead and do is actually create the section where the baby hairs are supposed to go. Like I told you guys before, this frontal did not come with a section off area where the baby hairs are, so I'm gonna have to go in and do it myself. So as you guys can see, I've already started. So what I do is I take my really tiny little edge control comb and 2-in-1 comb and brush, and I use the tiny comb to kind of part off where the baby hairs are supposed to go. Now with me parting it off, as you guys can see, you see a actual part in the frontal. And what I'm gonna do now is go in with my tweezers and open it up some more so you guys can see that there are 2 sections to my frontal. There's the baby hair section, and then there is the rest of the hair on the frontal section. So now that I've went ahead and created the section where the baby hairs are supposed to go, the last thing that I'm pretty much doing right now is just shortening the baby hairs and then using some foaming lotion to lay the baby hairs down or create the baby hairs. But you guys, don't worry, I will do a full out tutorial on how I create baby hairs on a frontal. That will be in another video. But yeah, you guys, this is pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this detailed tutorial. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you guys are interested in Wiggins Hair, I will put all the information in the description section. Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2, because part 2 will be me showing you guys how I create my wig using Wiggins Hair. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure you guys click the notification so you can get notified each and every time I upload a new video. And then make sure you guys like and share this video if it was helpful. Once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.